What's up, everybody? Welcome to Among the Fence. My name is Aaron. Today we're checking out the new album Bright As Blasphemy by the band Chevelle. This is the 10th studio album from the alt-rock duo. Their last album, Neurodius, from 2021, honestly took some time to grow on me. I have been a huge fan of this band since middle school when I saw the music video for The Red back in like 2002. Personally, I believe that their first three records are considered to be the best. I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up for me on any given day. Point number one, Wonder What's Next, or This Type of Thinking, honestly could be like my favorite, like really. But I know that a lot of people aren't really that big of a fan of point number one. Wonder What's Next and This Type of Thinking are usually considered to be a fan favorite, but honestly, like any of their albums could be considered a fan favorite. Honestly, if you look at their entire discography, all their albums are great. Venacera, Sci-Fi Crimes, La Gargola, Hats Off to the Bull. They could be at the top of basically any fan's ranking list. Neurodius, to me, is the only one that I feel like is really divisive, and I think that's due to the fact that this is like their first concept album, and it was also kind of their first album where they were tiptoeing a little bit more into the progressive rock side of things. So it's just very different from their first 8 albums that came before it. Personally, I'm really into concept albums and I love sci-fi themes, and the album has found a place in my heart since it's come out like 4 years ago. So it's not a favorite, admittedly. I listen to it every once in a while, but it did leave me wondering what was going to be coming next. And when they released Rabbit Hole Cowards Part 1 and announced a new album, it made me very excited and a little confused, honestly. The mid-tempo chunky riff is what we've come to know from Chevelle, but the rest of the song was different. It's touching on a world that is overloaded with information, that's full of paranoia due to doom scrolling and the lack of truth that's found on the internet, so it makes it really easy for people to fall for conspiracy theories. My main issue with this, the lyrics specifically, is I feel like they didn't dive into it hard enough. Like I said, I'm a fan of concepts and sci-fi themes, and I want more of it. They kind of like tiptoed and they kind of lure to certain things, but they don't feel all in. It's almost like a conspiracy theory within itself. So in that aspect, it is a little cool. The more I listened to this song, the more it grew on me. The music and the falsettos, which for me were a little off-putting at first. It's been a while since I've listened to this band. It's not something new for them, for sure. It's not like, oh, he's never done this before. But when you go into a new single and you haven't listened to Chevelle in a while and you hear those high vocals, it is a little jarring at first. Jim Jones' Cowards 2 was the second single they released, naturally about a cult leader named Jim Jones who came up with the People's Temple, which is like a religious cult thing. He orchestrated a mass murder, killing 900 of its members. It's kind of hard to have a cult if you kill everybody in it, I believe, but he killed them by giving them poisoned Kool-Aid, basically, which is where we get the phrase, drinking the Kool-Aid. If everybody in the group at the convention or whatever is drinking the Kool-Aid, they're falling for it. Musically, this is pretty standard Chevelle stuff. Like in the verses, mostly. There's a hint of like some punkish stuff in the chorus that I enjoyed quite a bit. This is another one that grew on me the more I listened to it, but it was mainly because of the mix and the vocals, I think. Musically, I felt like this wasn't quite as exciting as Cowards Part 1 because I feel like they played it a little safe here, which, I mean, it's a single, it's kind of to be expected. Same cannot be said for the opening track, Pale Horse. The vocal performance is all over the place, which I feel like makes it more entertaining. The transition into the chorus is pretty abrupt, and it does a good job at breaking up the pattern or the rhythm of the song. It does feel pretty progressive, which I enjoyed. It keeps you on your toes, kind of not really throwing you any curveballs though. Like you don't really know where it's gonna go next, but whenever it goes somewhere, you're not like completely caught off guard. It still very much sounds like Chevelle, which I did enjoy a lot. It's not like this is a completely different sounding band just because they're going a little bit more progressive. Hallucinations reminds me of something that would be found on point number 1 due to the vocal isolation and just the isolated riff. It's very raw sounding. It doesn't really pick up until about 3 minutes in when you get to the second chorus. I dig the sludginess of it, but for a song that's slower, like a slow burn song, it doesn't really feel like a goes anywhere. I mean, it does. It gets to the outro, which is big, but I was just hoping for a bigger punch. It feels like you're climbing up a very low incline hill. So by the time you get to the top, it just, you turn around and you look and you're only like, I don't know, like 10 feet up higher than where you were before. So it just doesn't really have that big of a payoff. And then we have the song Blood Out in the Fields, which again kind of reminds me of something found out for their earlier work. The twangy guitar is really cool for setting the almost Western imagery. But beyond that, I don't really like this song that much. Honestly, the lyrics didn't really, again, explore very much. The vocals did their best, but musically, I feel like this one fell flat. It is a cool kind of almost midpoint in the album going into like the back half, which is, well, I guess the back quarter of the album, which is arguably probably the best part of the album. But it just, I don't know. I feel like it could have been left without this song, but at the same time, I feel like this song still has its place. I feel like they just could have done a little bit more with it. I feel like they went a little bit too bare bones. Wolves, Love and Light gets really aggressive with a riff that sounds like it could fit on Mastodon's Leviathan album. I absolutely love it. I wish the verses had just a little bit more than palm mutes, but it does make the chorus stand out a little bit more. So I guess it works in that sense. It's just a really weird song that I enjoyed a lot. It's a blast to hear what like a Mastodon or even like a Gojira inspired Chevelle would sound like. And I feel like this is it. That cool riff, the distorted fuzzy guitar, is just all there. And then we have the song Karma Goddess, which continues the sludginess and also the themes of trusting illusions and propaganda. The fuzzy riff, again, feels like a nod to like early Clutch or maybe even a Perfect Circle at times. The twists and turns in this song are great. And this one, you don't really know what's going to come next. You could get really fat riff, a really quick riff. You could get a guitar solo with a lot of effects. You just don't know. And then we have AI Phobias, which is probably the best song on this album. And I just want to say, this has nothing to do with the song, but AI is so awful. Like, it has its uses, sure. But in terms of social media, this is like the worst thing ever. Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, Reddit, Facebook, Instagram, basically all social media platforms thought it'd be a good idea to implement AI bots to interact with you. That way it encourages more interaction from you to the point where they'll make posts, they'll start arguments, they'll agree and disagree, whatever, just to get you to interact more. So there's a big chance, 50% of the time that you're interacting with a stranger online, I think it's like 51%, is it's a bot. It's not even a real person, which is just insane to me. They're killing their own platforms and they don't even realize it. They're pushing everybody away. But anyways, moving on now. The climax in the chorus of this song with the chanty vocals is so sick. It gives it like this like controlling presence or like a hive mind kind of feel. And the interlude is insane. The way it has that spiraling melody, it makes it feel like it's the peak of like the themes. Like if you look at these albums or these songs as a progression where things are progressively getting worse and worse and worse, we get to AI Phobias where like it's like Skynet kind of stuff. And I feel like this is it, which leads us into the closing track, Shocked at the End of the World, which is probably like the most aggressive yet also the best flowing song on the album. The quick sort of riff in the chorus becomes huge in the verses, and it's really colorful, specifically in the chorus. It becomes more aggressive in the verses. I really enjoyed the way they explored the themes in this song of like destroying ourselves without even realizing it, which is like a current thing that we're doing with AI. I feel like the fact that you know, we're so like, why has so much technology taken over our lives? This is a really cool thing. It's like we have allowed this to happen without really even knowing it. Like the people who created it, all that. So yeah, Shocked at the End of the World is a really cool closing track because it closes everything out. But at the same time, it's like, well, what were you guys expecting? You know, like all these algorithms, all this stuff, it's learned who we are, and now people hate each other and they're pushed on different sides of the spectrum in terms of what they believe until they're super aggressive. And it's basically pointing to where all the other songs are pointing to. Like I said, it all proceeds into this one song. And if you listen to this album all the way through multiple times, you really pick up hints at just like how cool and intricate the concept of this album is leading up to this song, let alone just the music in it, which is fantastic. This was a really dark album, not just like lyrically or like musically, but I feel like the mix. There's a lot going on in the background that you don't really hear on the first listen. They create a lot of different textures with electronics and different stuff that takes multiple listens for you to really pick up on. Yes, they're not as melodic as they used to be. They're like the catchy choruses that they used to have in their first couple albums. They aren't really there. Like a lot of these songs, you're not really going to get stuck in your head. You're not going to have the earworms and stuff like that. But to me, like the complexity of the different styles that they use in this, from like death metal to a little bit of industrial stuff and really grungy sounding mixes and fuzzy guitar riffs and stuff like that. It's just, they did a really good job at it. I feel like it would have been cooler if they went deeper on some songs, but at the same time, it kind of allures to the whole conspiracy that they're trying to point out at the same time. So yeah, I love the concept. I wish they would have dived a little bit further into it. For a 9-track album, I feel like they could have added 3 more songs to really flesh it out. I know that they wanted to keep it as small as possible. That way there's no fluff in there, which is really cool too. So with all that said, I got to give Bright As Blasphemy by Chevelle an 8.3 out of 10. But I want to know what you guys think. Leave a comment below letting me know what you thought of Bright As Blasphemy. Let me know what you would rate it, what your favorite song is. Also, don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed it. It helps out a lot with YouTube's algorithm and also my ego. It will keep my videos popping up in your recommended section. And if you want to support me further than that, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell icon. Do any of those things is just fantastic. I will truly appreciate you. I will love you if you do that. And probably more than anybody else has ever loved you, which is saying a lot because I'm sure you guys are very loved. But anyways, thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to listen to me talk about music. I hope you have a good rest of your day or night whenever you happen to be watching this. And I will talk to you guys next time.